This is the Space Force after all, so are aliens real?
Combat Squadron 411, we're getting launches out of Yemen, entering phase 1.
It's going across the Department of War, going to the White House, and up to the President of the United States.
Space superiority consists of about 3 mission areas: orbital warfare, electronic warfare, and cyber warfare.
From the outside, this might look like a giant golf ball, but inside this 100-foot tall dome is a piece of equipment so powerful, it can detect a missile launch from halfway around the world. These are radomes, massive weatherproof shells that are scattered across Colorado, some of them practically in your own backyard. To the untrained eye, they look like massive golf balls, or better yet, a replica of Disney's Epcot theme park. But these radomes exist for a singular, very important reason: to protect the United States from incoming missiles. Inside each dome is a powerful satellite antenna, part of a global network built to give the United States critical warning if a missile launches anywhere on the planet. These radomes work hand in hand with satellites orbiting 22,000 miles above Earth, detecting the heat from a missile the instant it's launched. From there, real-time tracking data calculates its speed and trajectory, pinpointing exactly where it's headed and what threat it presents. But in these critical moments that could alter the course of history, one question remains. When a missile is detected and the red alert flashes, who decides what happens next? Well, my search for that answer brings me here, to Aurora, Colorado, home of Buckley Space Force Base, a place where cameras are almost never allowed. But somehow, we convinced the United States Space Force to grant us access inside one of these radomes and onto an operations floor, where I'll be participating in a live missile warning scenario. If you've ever flown into the Denver airport and driven through Aurora, you might have seen these massive-looking golf balls located right off the highway. Now, it's sort of weird just seeing them integrated into suburbia, but back when these were built in the late 1960s and early 70s, the area east of Denver was mostly an empty prairie. Over the years, the city of Aurora grew around them, and due to their proximity to nearby Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado Springs, this space remains the perfect location. But before we go tour a radome for ourselves, it's important that you understand how they integrate into America's missile warning system. The missile warning system is made up of 3 distinct layers: satellites orbiting high above Earth, radars stationed in some of the most remote regions of the planet, and radomes, like the ones here in Colorado, that tie it all together. Satellites act as the initial eye in the sky, equipped with powerful infrared sensors that can spot the heat from a missile launch the instant it leaves the ground. Massive ground-based radars located in remote regions like Alaska and Greenland then track those missiles as they fly through space, calculating speed and trajectory. Finally, all of that data then flows here to the ground stations at Buckley Space Force Base, where inside these radomes, satellite antennas receive that information and feed it to the Space Force operators, who verify, analyze, and send out alerts in real time. Together, these 3 layers form one of the most advanced early warning networks in the world, a system built to ensure that if a missile is ever launched, the United States will be the first to know about it.
Hey Sam, you ready to see inside of a radome?
Let's do it! Oh, wow. That's incredible. And to be clear, the word radome, that only refers to the exterior shell, right? Like, this is something completely different.
So the radome is the exterior shell you see around you right now. This radome protects against weather in our local area. Being near the Denver, Aurora area, we get high winds, snow, ice, and we want to keep our antenna safe and extend its lifespan with this radome. It also serves a second purpose. From space or from any exterior angles, you cannot see where this antenna is pointed. That ensures our adversaries cannot pick up on what we are doing with our mission.
And this antenna right here, this is the mothership, right? This is what all this infrastructure is built to protect. What is this thing?
So this antenna, his name is Fred. The real name is a satellite readout station. So what this antenna does is it communicates with satellites in geostationary orbit, 22,000 miles away from where we stand right now. This gives us real-time data to ensure the safety of this nation.
Now, from the outside, these radomes look completely still, but inside, it's a whole different story. The antenna is able to move, pivot, and even point straight up to lock onto a satellite orbiting thousands of miles above Earth. As the Earth spins, the antenna must move to stay locked onto its target, constantly adjusting to maintain a steady connection.
So as I mentioned earlier, this antenna is named Fred, and as you see, he has a beautiful name tape painted right on the side. You might see it resembles the Ford logo very closely, and that's because this antenna was actually built and designed by Ford's Aerospace Division. In 1971, they began construction, completed in 1973.
So Ford builds trucks, cars, and antennas.
Yes, sir. I don't believe they're...
Probably not anymore, though.
Yeah, no, sir. Not for the antennas anymore, but...
Wow, and you said built in 1973, so this thing's getting old. I imagine there's a lot of maintenance you guys probably have to do to upkeep these things. Like, what's the most common issue you see?
So for common maintenance issues we encounter is just like any other Ford truck, you got to do your oil changes, your maintenance on the motors for the elevation azimuth motors. Every single day, twice a day, we come out and do checks because, like an engine in your motor vehicle, this thing might squeak before it sounds the alarm on our software. So just like any other piece of equipment, we maintain this to the best of our ability.
So obviously we're just looking at one radome, but I've seen here at Buckley, you guys have like a dozen of these things. Is that mainly for redundancy in case one goes down, the others can take over?
So obviously we have antennas meant for redundancy here on Buckley, but every antenna fills its own role and its own mission.
What's the craziest questions you get from people who come take a tour of this thing? Like alien technology, like what have you heard?
For aliens, it's a big one. Anywhere in Aurora, you see these golf balls poking up in the skyline. Everyone thinks that there's aliens or some kind of weird, crazy technology in here, when in reality, we're just doing satellite communications.
So there you go. People, look, this is what's inside these giant golf balls. I still think there's some crazy stuff going on you're not telling me.
You never know.
So they just repositioned the antenna for us in what they call the bird bath position. So we've been given permission to climb up this ladder and stand inside the dish itself. I'm going up. Guys, I mean, check out this view. We are 80 feet high right now, standing on the dish of this antenna. And the best example I have for what this thing does is imagine aiming a laser pointer at a moving target 22,000 miles away. Except that laser is transmitting data in real time that can help detect a missile launch from halfway around the world. Now, if you think this is cool, and it is, just get ready, because I can't wait to show you what we've got next. So, now that we've been inside a radome, there's only one objective that remains. When that red alert goes off and an incoming missile is detected, what happens next, and who's responsible? Well, the answer to that question is exactly what we're going to find out. So this is it, the heart of America's missile warning system, known as the ops floor. Normally cameras aren't allowed anywhere near this room because everything that happens behind these doors is classified. This is where the Space Force sits alert 24/7, monitoring data from the satellites in the radomes we just toured, and when a missile is launched from anywhere in the world, this is where that alert appears first. Today, we're getting a rare look at how that process actually works.
What goes on in this room determines how the United States and her allies respond to a missile launch.
Starting off with the crew commander. You can think of them like the quarterback, calling the plays and coordinating every move that happens on the ops floor.
When you step foot on the operations floor, you are running the show. All of the operators, all of the support engineers, all of the intelligence folks who are all on that floor answer to you.
Lieutenant Mathis, how are phone calls?
You are the focal point of that operations floor and almost like the conductor for anything that might happen.
Next up is cyber. They make sure that the system that's warning the world about incoming missiles can't be hacked, jammed, or shut down.
Without cyber, the missile warning mission just doesn't happen. Primarily, our job is to ensure no outside entities, agencies, specifically nation-state actors, are within our weapon systems.
And finally, the Mission Delta IV senior leader. Most of the time, they're not actually present in this room because their job is to help oversee the entire mission.
Mission Delta IV executes the missile warning, missile track mission for the United States. I'm not out there running around directing traffic, commanding troops. I'm ensuring that the intel organization is executing and supporting the team. Sustainment is learning. Even the acquisition community is learning how to make these systems better. We would not have been effective as a nation without the men and women of Mission Delta IV executing the mission, protecting this nation.
So here's what's about to happen. We're running a real-world training scenario, a simulated missile launch out of Yemen. And what you're about to see is how this team would respond if a real missile was launched, and how seconds can make the difference between a warning and catastrophe.
We are seeing loads and loads of missiles being shot at one time, or volleys.
Saw a significant increase in missile activity to the tune of about 300 missiles in one day, and that was unheard of at the time.
That's a high volume. Typically, you might see anywhere between 6 and 20 missiles within a whole shift.
So I just found out that I've actually been given a role for this scenario. I'm going to be playing the intelligence officer, the one briefing this entire room on the scenario that's happening. Surely I can't mess that up, right? I guess we'll see. Welcome to Changeover. We have moderate confidence based on a variety of intelligence that we're expecting a high volume of events in and around the CENTCOM AOR. They're expected to occur during your shift at approximately 1300 Zulu. The most likely course of action being 10 missile launches, with the most dangerous being 20 or more. Based on historical data, we're expecting these launches to come from the vicinity of Site Alpha.
Incoming launch!
The scenario kicks off with what we call detection. Our satellites orbiting above Earth detect overhead persistent infrared, which for missiles are energy signatures. They take that data and downlink it to the radomes here near our operations floor. That data is then shuttled to our operators, and it's what we see on our screens every day.
Combat Squadron 411, we're getting launches out of Yemen, entering phase 1. Mathis, I'm going to need you on phones.
All stations, we've detected multiple missile launches from Yemen. Location 15.43 north by 43.42 east. Heading is 280 degrees.
Next is verification.
Are you valid for those missiles?
We need to determine whether or not these missile events are real or false alarms. The way we determine this is through two-person human verification. What that is that no single operator is allowed to release a missile event without getting another human to verify what they are seeing is a true missile event.
Permission to send missile 1.
It looks good. Permission granted.
Copy.
Now what you're seeing here isn't just a drill. It's the exact process this team uses when the alerts are real. In June of 2025, during the 12-day war between Iran and Israel, hundreds of missiles and drones were launched across the region in one of the largest exchanges of fire in recent history. Space Force operators were the first to detect those launches, track their trajectories, and verify the data, providing critical warning to US and Allied commands to help protect forces and civilians on the ground. During Operation Midnight Hammer, when US B-2 stealth bombers struck Iranian nuclear sites, Buckley Space Force Base played a pivotal role in early detection and tracking that made that mission possible. In the days that followed, Iran launched a barrage of missiles at US and coalition bases, a direct retaliatory response to those strikes.
Specialist Non, how are we looking?
I have 25 missiles right now, but the tempo's picking up.
And finally, dissemination.
Intel.
Ready for update?
Time is 1301 Zulu. Location is 15 north by 44 east.
Good copy.
This is data of incoming missile strikes, where we're providing that data across multiple theaters, across the command, across the community to warn the public. It's going across the Department of War, going to the White House, and up to the President of the United States.
See 3 more coming from Site A right now.
What coordinates is that at?
The most rewarding part of our job is knowing that what we do has a real impact.
And that's why I make it my goal to get 1% better each day.
Mission for this missile?
Permission granted.
Knowing that you're not alone and you have your crew to support you goes leaps and bounds. Knowing that they're there, it makes it better.
Are there any more indications and warnings?
Negative, ma'am. No more indications.
All launches are final. Good work, team.
I mean, that was intense. I'm like still sweating. How different would you say that is from a real world scenario?
I'd say it was very accurate. The feeling is the same, staying calm while in chaos. These Guardians have seen many similar events real world.
Well, it was a privilege just to be able to be here and watch you guys in action and to actually play a small part myself. I feel like on behalf of America, I just need to say thank you. Now, as my time at Buckley Space Force Base neared its end, I was told there was one more individual we'd have the opportunity to meet. Brigadier General Casey Shaggy Beard. He helps oversee the Space Force's front line, the people, the technology, and operations that keep watch over Earth and space every single day. We'd start off with a softball question. This is the Space Force after all, so are aliens real?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, we'll have to get you read into a few things. I know we're unclassified right now. I'd like to think so, but I don't have any evidence to suggest right now.
I just had to ask, but in all seriousness, the Space Force has been around since 2019.
That's right.
I still feel like it's largely misunderstood. So what would you say to those watching who are still trying to understand what the Space Force does?
Yeah, great question. We exist fundamentally to contest and control the space domain. But we do that by extension under 3 core functions. We have 3 core functions in the Space Force. The first is space superiority. The second is global mission operations. And the third is space access, which you've actually seen a little bit of. Space superiority consists of about 3 mission areas: orbital warfare, electronic warfare, and cyber warfare. Global mission operations, where we're focusing on largely today, missile warning, satellite communications, position navigation and timing, think GPS. And then lastly, space access, as I mentioned, space launch, very visible, very understandable. To accomplish those missions, the Space Force, like every other service, designs, develops, generates, and employs those forces to ensure that we can contest and control the domain and leverage the domain for national security and national prosperity.
So from an outsider's point of view, you guys have some of the coolest base locations I've seen. The facilities are like brand new and nice. The uniforms aren't too bad either. It's pretty nice in the Space Force.
It is, but make no mistake, standards are high. Physical fitness is still a critical aspect of what we need to do, as you can imagine. If you're conducting operations at 2 a.m., you've got to have mental acuity to be able to make sense again of what you're seeing, to make the right decisions. But it isn't too bad. It's a formidable challenge that we have, but it's also the newest service. And what that also means is that we're experiencing, developing, and understanding the newest form of warfare. What does it take to secure access to the domain? It's a high-stakes environment. Every single day they go out and step into the console to make sure that we are secure, and our nation honestly doesn't even know that they're doing their job if we're doing our job, if you will. So high-tech, high-stakes operations every day. That's what Guardians do.
So there you have it. Hopefully next time you drive through Denver and see those giant golf balls on the horizon, you'll know that they're part of a mission that never stops.
We don't play that. We don't play that. We don't play that. G-Unit. We don't play around.